There are places on Earth where maps stop, satellites blur, and footsteps vanish without a trace. We think everything has been discovered. Cities grow tall, GPS guides us anywhere, and even the oceans have Wi-Fi. But the truth is, there are still places that remain untouched, not because we haven't found them, but because they don't want to be found. Far beyond the reach of highways and phone signals, there are corners of this planet that seem to breathe on their own. Places where nature has drawn a hard line and dared anyone to cross it. And when they do, some never come back. Imagine standing at the edge of a massive sinkhole in Venezuela, its bottom swallowed by shadow. Picture the silent pressure of the Mariana Trench where the ocean crushes everything that enters. Or a rusted warning sign nailed into a tree on North Sentinel Island, where even a step closer means death. These aren't tourist spots. They're warnings written by time. Some of these places never knew humans. Others pushed them out. From venom-filled jungles to frozen ghost towns buried under fog, what you're about to see isn't just defiance. These are not destinations. They are the final chapters in Earth's book that was never meant to be read aloud. And once you enter, there is no return. In a time when everything feels connected, there are still places that don't answer when you call. Places that don't care who you are, where you're from, or what equipment you bring. Places that feel like Earth pressing back, because this video isn't about pretty views or hidden gems. It's about the limits of human presence. What happens when we reach the edge of the map, of our endurance, and sometimes of our sanity? Some locations on this list are frozen, some are burning, some are teeming with creatures that evolved in isolation. Others shelter entire tribes, who've rejected the outside world for thousands of years. We'll walk through lands where the rules of life don't apply, where boiling lakes, radioactive soil, or the bite of a single snake can end a story before it begins. But not all isolation is physical. Some of the places we'll cover are haunted not by spirits, but by silence. The kind of silence that makes you question whether humans were ever meant to go there in the first place. And maybe that's the point, because these places remind us that we're not in charge here, that no matter how much we build, conquer, or study, we're still guests, temporary ones. So as this countdown begins, remember, this isn't about thrill. It's not even about survival. It's about what's out there when all roads end, and all lights fade. This is Earth's final warning. A list of the most isolated, inaccessible, and unforgiving places on the planet, and once you enter, there is no return. #20 Devon Island. Canada tucked deep in the Arctic, Devon Island is the largest uninhabited island on Earth. It's more than just cold. It's lifeless, harsh, and impossible to survive in without help. The ground is rocky, the wind bites hard, and the temperature can drop to -58 degrees Fahrenheit. But that's exactly why NASA comes here. This frozen wasteland is used as a test site for Mars missions. Rovers are rolled across its sharp terrain. Spacesuits are pushed to their limits. And the 14-mile-wide Houghton crater left behind by a meteor nearly 40 million years ago acts as the perfect stand-in for another planet. Devon Island isn't welcoming. It wasn't made for humans. And yet, we keep returning, trying to understand how we might one day survive on another world. #19 North Sentinel Island. India. Not far from mainland India sits a 31-square-mile island shrouded in silence and mystery. North Sentinel Island is home to the Sentinelese tribe that has lived here for over 60,000 years. And they've made one thing clear. They want nothing to do with the modern world. Every attempt to approach the island has been met with aggression, arrows, spears, warnings from the jungle. In 2018, a man named John Allenshaw tried to reach them. He was killed. Nobody knows how they live, what they believe, or how many of them remain. But one thing is certain, they've made a choice. While the rest of the world runs faster, they stayed still. #18 Surtsey Island, Iceland in 1963, off the southern coast of Iceland. A violent undersea eruption forced a new landmass above the waves. That island is Surtsey, and no, you can't visit. Only scientists are allowed here. No pollution, no human disruption. Over time, seeds were carried in by wind, waves, and birds. Plants began to grow. Insects moved in. Birds built nests. Surtsey is young, but it's pure. A living timeline of how untouched nature starts from zero. #17. Danakil, Depression, Ethiopia. Now let's switch extremes, from freezing wastelands to a place that looks like it was pulled straight from a nightmare. The Danakil Depression in Ethiopia is boiling, acidic, and deadly. Temperatures often reach 120 degrees Fahrenheit. It's filled with lava, sulfur, and salt, and yet, tiny organisms survive here. Scientists study them to learn how life might exist on other planets. The heat is unbearable, the air smells like chemicals, and the Earth seems to be tearing itself open. #16 Pitcairn Islands. In the middle of the South Pacific lies a quiet island, with only about 50 residents. But behind the calm ocean breeze is a dark past. In 1790, mutineers from the HMS Bounty settled here. Their descendants still live on the island today. But in 2004, a major abuse scandal revealed the hidden trauma behind Paradise. There's no airstrip, no escape, just a community carrying the weight of history. #15, Snake Island, Brazil, about 90 miles off the coast of São Paulo. There's a place where you're not allowed to step foot, not because of politics, but because you might not make it out alive. It's called Snake Island. Every square meter is crawling with golden lancehead vipers, some of the most venomous snakes in the world. Their venom melts flesh. They live here by the thousands, with no natural predators. The island is off limits. Only researchers with government approval can get close. Everyone else stays away. 14. Sarasaranama Mountain. Venezuela. Deep in Venezuela stands a flat-topped mountain, surrounded by jungle and mystery. But what makes it strange are the giant sinkholes across its surface. Some are over 1,000 feet deep, and inside, untouched ecosystems exist. Locals believe the mountain is sacred. Maybe they're right, because the deeper you look into those holes, the more it feels like something is looking back. #13, Heard and McDonald Islands. Indian Ocean out in the brutal waters of the Southern Ocean. These volcanic islands belong to no one and want no one. There are no towns, no humans, just ice, lava, and animals tough enough to survive both. Heard Island has an active volcano. McDonald Island is covered in rock and wind. These islands remind us that not all nature is meant to be visited. #12, Javari Valley, Brazil. The Amazon is wild, but the Javari Valley is in another league. It's home to dozens of uncontacted tribes. They don't want outsiders, and they defend their land fiercely. Illegal miners and loggers keep pushing in, and the forest pushes back. This isn't just a rainforest. It's a guarded world where silence is power. #11, Mariana Trench. If you dropped Mount Everest into the Mariana Trench, it still wouldn't reach the bottom. That's how deep it goes, over 36,000 feet. The pressure down there is enough to crush steel. Yet somehow, life exists. Strange fish, single-celled giants, microbes that feed on heat instead of light. Only a few people have made it to the bottom, and even they could only stay 4 minutes. 10, Palmerston Island. South Pacific. There's a coral atoll where nearly everyone shares the same bloodline. Palmerston Island was settled by one man and his 3 wives in the 1800s. Their descendants still live here. About 60 people. There are no stores, no cars, no running water. Just family, survival, and silence. Supplies come by boat twice a year. That's it. It's peaceful, but it's also locked in time. Isolation here isn't just cultural, it's genetic. Number 9. Adak Island. Alaska, once a key military post during World War II and the Cold War, Adak Island is now a ghost. The base closed. The people left. Now, fewer than 100 remain. The wind never stops. The fog rolls in thick, and the silence of abandoned buildings tells a story that progress doesn't always last. Hush Ocho, Bija, Las Estrellas, Antarctica. On King George Island in Antarctica, a small Chilean-run town stands against the cold. It has homes, a school, and a post office. But this is no ordinary place. Temperatures drop below -120 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds howl. Sunlight disappears for months. It's not just cold, it's mental. Living here is a challenge for the body, the mind, and the spirit. Number 7. Cape York. Australia. At the northern tip of Australia, Cape York is raw, untamed, and deeply sacred. It's home to ancient indigenous communities, dense forests, and species found nowhere else. It's not forgotten. It's protected. One of the last places on Earth where tradition still leads, and the modern world can't catch up. #6 Tristan da Cunha, South Atlantic Ocean, 1,700 miles from land. No airport, no escape, unless you sail for a week. That's Tristan da Cunha, a volcanic island where 250 people live off the sea and the land. It's tough, it's stormy, it's isolated, but it works because it has to. Number 5. Medug County. Tibet. Until 2013, there was no road into Medug County. Hidden behind cliffs and fog, it's a place of lush forests, spiritual meaning, and untouched biodiversity. This isn't just land, it's a sacred veil between worlds, and it doesn't lift easily. For Cape Melville, Australia. For years, no one knew what was inside Cape Melville. It was blocked by rocks and jungle. But once scientists broke through, they found something incredible. Animals that had never been seen before. This place didn't hide from us. It just waited. Number 3. Hang Sen Hoon Cave, Vietnam. Imagine a cave so massive, it has its own weather. That's Hang Sen Hoon. Inside are rivers, jungles, and towering walls. It was only fully explored in 2009. Still, very few people have seen it. Some places stay hidden not because they can't be found, but because they weren't meant to be entered. Number 2. Mount Namil, Mozambique. Mount Namili rises out of the forest like a granite fortress. For a long time, it was ignored. Too steep, too dangerous. But when researchers climbed it, they found layers of life, plants, birds, insects no one had ever recorded. It was always there, watching, waiting. Number 1. La Rinconada, Peru. At nearly 17,000 feet, La Rinconada is the highest town in the world. But life here is no reward. Oxygen is thin. Water is poisoned. People risk their lives for gold and most leave with nothing. It's a town that trades air for hope, and it stands as proof that some places aren't meant to be lived in, but people live anyway. From fiery volcanoes to frozen wastelands, from untouched tribes to ghost towns, reclaimed by nature, these places prove that Earth is far from ordinary. They remind us that even in an age of technology and maps, there are still frontiers, where nature sets the rules. Each location tests survival, resilience, and sometimes even belief itself. Together, they show that our planet remains full of mystery and wonder, waiting to teach us lessons about endurance and respect for the world we live in. Which of these places captured your imagination the most? Would you set foot on Snake Island, or face the crushing darkness of the Mariana Trench? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss our next deep look at the hidden sides of our world. Until then, stay curious, and we'll see you in the next one.